This is lecture number 16. The topic is array traversal using pointers, and my name is Mohammed Kaleem. Lecture outline is we will revisit quickly some of the topics which were covered before. So, memory representation of arrays, assessing 1D array without pointers, assessing 1D array using for loop, initializing a pointer to the first element of 1D array, using pointers increment to access elements in 1D array, using nested loops, and a linear index to access elements in 2D array. Here, just a memory representation of an array. When you declare an array and initialize to some elements, what happens in the memory? We could represent it in a horizontal way or in a vertical way. So when you say any array by the size and initialize with certain elements, then a consecutive memory locations are located. So here is array name square bracket 0 shows the first element and the value stored is 1. Likewise, array name square bracket 1, the index is 1 and the value stored is 4, and so on. So the memory address is taken just for an example. Say for instance it is 6000 and then 6004, because in C integer occupy 4 bytes, so each member is 4 bytes away from the other member or element. So it could be horizontally or vertically, but the memory should be consecutive memory locations should be allocated or are located. So it is an example of assessing 1D array without using pointers. So a simple program, and I'm declaring an array of size 5 by the name A and type is integer, and I'm initializing it to the 5 comma separated elements, and then I'm using index number, the name of array, square bracket index number to access that particular element of that array. So whatever the element index number I use, so A of 0 represents the first element, A of 2 will represent the third element, A of 4, A of square bracket 4 represents the fifth element. And get ch function basically holds the screen until the input is entered by the users, and the output is, because in this program we are only printing first element and the fifth element, so the output is 10 and 50. Another example, here we are using for loop to access different elements of an array. So here I declare again the same array of same data type and having the same values stored, and then initializing a variable by the name I, and then running for loop from I assign 0, I less than 5, the size of the array, and then I plus plus. So I, for the first value, I will be 0, and the condition is true, 0 is less than 5, and the statement will be executed inside the body of the for loop, which is print A of ith element. So I0 means the first element, A of 0, first element will be printed, and then the I will be incremented to the value 1. 1 is still less than 5, condition is true, and the statement will be executed, and A of square bracket 1, whatever the value stored at that element will be printed. So if you see the output on the right bottom side of the slide, so it prints 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 sequentially, one by one. So this is an example of using for loop assessing 1D array without pointers. Now, how about pointers? How we can initialize a pointer to a variable? We have done that, but just revisiting it quickly. So we declare an array by the name ARY, type integer, square bracket 5 tells you the size is 5, and then initialize with 5 comma separated elements, and then I'm declaring an array, a pointer by the name p, and the pointer's data type and the array data type is same. And then third line, I am assigning the address of array to the pointer. So as one can see, we can do it in two ways. Either write the name of array, assign pointer name, or we could use AND operator, or it's also called address operator, and then the name of array square bracket 0 assign p. So compiler will not give you any error. Both statements are correct, and the picture shows you what happens in that case. So we declare an array, and then we declare a pointer and assign the address of array to the pointer. So pointer, when I say star p, it will be printing the first value of the first element, because star means it is printing the value. And if I want the printer pointer to print the second element, so I will write pointer plus 1 small bracket, or I will put a star operator in front of it, and it will print the value of the second element. Likewise, if I keep on changing the index number, so p plus 2 will give me the value of the third element if I put the star operator in front of it. So and the third and the fourth. So like this, we can have access to each element of this array by using a pointer. So pointer initialization is the process of assigning address of a variable, or it could be array, to a pointer variable. Pointer variables are only contains addresses of a variable of the same data type. In C language, address operator is used to determine the address of a variable. But array is little different, because name of array itself is a pointer. It perhaps is a constant pointer. So using pointer increment to access element in a 1D array. So program initialize shows I'm declaring a pointer I, and then declaring an array, and then initializing it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, and then assigning the address of array to the pointer p, and then running a for loop for I0, I less than 5, I plus plus for. So this loop will run from I0 to the maximum size of the array, which is in this case 5. Lekin the condition will be, the loop will run up till 4, because 5, the I is less than 5, so up to 4 times it will run and will print all the values stored in this array sequentially. So when I is equal to 0, the condition is true, 0 is less than 5. The statement will be executed, which is printf star p will print the value stored in ith location at the first element's value. Or then I'm incrementing the pointer p plus plus. So now pointer is pointing to the second element. So I, after incrementing pointer, I value will increase to 1. So R1 is again less than 5, condition is true, and both these statements inside the curly brackets will be executed, and like this we can print all the 5 values sequentially stored in array by the name a type integer. So in this program, the pointer p will print all the values stored in the array one by one. We can also use the base address, which is a, to act as a pointer and print all the values. So whatever a pointer can do, the base address can also do. The name of the address, name of the array can also do. So we will see that the so base address of the array we declare is the name of array declared in the previous example was a. So if I put a plus I inside the bracket and small bracket and put star operator in front of it, I am reading the value stored at the ith position. It is same as saying a square bracket I. So both statements will print the ith element of an array, which is A in this case. So here is an example, another example. I declare the an array of data type double, size 5, and it is initialized to 5 uh, elements, and then I'm declaring a pointer by the name P, and then I'm declaring another variable I, and then assigning the address of array to this pointer. So pointer and the array name pointing to the same location. So I'm running a for loop and printing each value stored at that array p plus I. So I is 0 will print the first element, I is 1 print the second element, I is 2 print the third element, and so on. Same can be done if I use the array name, which is in this case balance. So balance plus I is 0 will print the first element of this array balance. I1 will print the second element of this array balance, and so on. So the syntax of this is same as this one. So we use star operator and curly bracket, small bracket, and then plus I, which is the index number of that element which we want to be printed or to be accessed. So output of this program, either I use this statement or this statement, the output should be the same because both statements use star operator. So it will print the value stored at the ith location. So here is array value stored using pointers. So p plus 0, the first element, and the value stored is 1000, and balance plus 0 also gives the same value stored at the 0 location or at the first location. Likewise, p plus 1 gives me the value stored at the second element, and balance plus 1 also give me the value stored at the second element of this array. So in this above example, p is a pointer to double, which means it can store the address of a variable of double type. Once we have the address in p, star p will give us the value available at the address stored in p, as we have shown in the above example. So you can access each element of one D array either using the name of array plus I or pointer जो भी आपने declare किया है plus I will have the same result if you put star operator in front of it. So some key points to take. एक तो हमने देखा कि हम अगर स्टार पॉइंटर के साथ लगाते हैं तो ये वैल्यू प्रिंट करता है, और फिर if we have in print command, if we have a square bracket I will also print the value of the ith element. अगर हम लिखें I square bracket के बाहर और square bracket के अंदर a लिखें, which is the name of array, still compiler will compile it and will give me the value of the ith element. If I write a plus I without any star operator, it will give me the memory address of the ith element. And if I put a plus I inside small bracket and put star operator in front of it, it will give me the value stored of the ith element. And if I say star a only, this will give me the value stored at a of square bracket 0. First element का वो value store करेगी. And keep in mind, a, the name of an array, is a constant pointer. Constant pointer means I cannot increment it. So a plus plus will give me compile time error. Okay. So there are a number of ways of accessing one D array. and I can access array either pointer or using index number or the name of array as well.